A severe winter storm threatening millions of Americans across the country. In the Northeast, residents are gearing up for a possible nor'easter. Forecasters predict the region could get hit with its worst snowstorm in nearly 5 years. Winter storm warnings are in effect from southern New England to as far south as Asheville, North Carolina. Heavy snowfall and strong winds could make driving conditions nearly impossible. CBS News meteorologist and climate specialist Jeff Berardelli joins me now with the latest on the upcoming nor'easter. Hi, Jeff. Great to see you. Boy, so we've had a pretty mild winter so far. Are you saying this is all about to end?
Yeah, this is going to be a doozy of a snowstorm. The biggest snowstorm we've seen in New York City in at least a few years, and in many parts of the Northeast. The last couple of years, we haven't had enough cold air. Every time there was a storm, the cold air got pushed out, the warm air moved in. That's not going to be the case this time. So for snow lovers, this is good news. For everybody else, not so good news. So let's show you what's going on right now. So the storm's located across Oklahoma. Some places will see 4, 5, maybe even 6 inches of snow. So it's just starting to get its act together. But as it heads to the east, it'll begin to tap moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. That's when it'll start to invigorate and intensify. That's where it is right now. Once it gets about here, that's when it really starts to get going. So this is going to be a whopper of a storm. Some places 1 to 2 feet of snow will fall, and gusts could be as high as 45, 50 miles an hour. Blizzard conditions possible in the Northeast.
Wow. So what exactly are we expecting to hit the Northeast in the coming days, and which areas will be hit the hardest?
So it looks like interior portions away from the coast. So interior Pennsylvania, upstate New York, so anywhere outside of the city. The city will get snow as well. Southeastern New England's going to get hit pretty hard, so let's show you what's happening. Big area of high pressure across Ontario and Quebec. So that's the cold air source, and it's kind of remaining fairly stubborn. So as long as it's there, it keeps feeding cold air south, and then that warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean overrides that dome of cold air. So it's mostly snow from New York City northward, then a mix of snow, sleet, and freezing rain in places like New York City and south of that into Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. is a slushy mix. So the heaviest snow is going to be Poconos, up through, the Hudson Valley of New York and southeast New England as well. And the mountains of West Virginia will get a decent snow. Interior Pennsylvania will get shellacked by the storm. It's going to be that impressive of a snowstorm.
And is this the type of snowstorm, Jeff, that is going to dump a lot of snow and then stay really cold for a long time afterwards, so that the snow is just going to be around and compacted all around the cities?
For a couple of days, I think so. But no, it's not going to remain really cold. It's not going to be like 20 or in the teens. It's more likely going to be in the 30s and low 40s in the extended range at least. So let's kind of take it step by step and show you. Here we are tomorrow afternoon. That mix is moving into D.C., really a slushy mess, but the heavy snow is moving into Philadelphia. Then it moves into New York City later in the day. And look at how heavy the snow is across interior portions of Pennsylvania, all the way down to the mountains of West Virginia. Here we are at around midnight, and the snow's really coming down heavy in New York City, but notice it's beginning to mix with sleet in New York, so that'll cut down totals close to the coast. Long Island, the Jersey Shore, same thing. But anywhere north and west of there, northwest New Jersey, lower Hudson Valley, Connecticut, big time heavy snowfall. Notice even at Thursday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, it's still snowing across New England, just beginning to taper off at that point. So it's an extended period of heavy snow. And in total, look at that bullseye. Scranton, Williamsport, State College, could be close to 20+ inches of snow. Poconos, 20 inches of snow possible. Northwest New Jersey, probably 16 to 20 inches of snow. New York City, right around a foot. Philadelphia, probably around 6 to 9 inches of snow. Interior parts of New England, we're looking at a good 8 to 15 inches of snow. Boston's on the northern end of that, but even Boston should pick up close to 8 inches, maybe a little bit more than that. So this is a doozy of snowfall. If you're in D.C. and you like snow, this is not the greatest storm for you. I'd be upset if I were a snow lover in D.C. right now. By the way, on a personal note, I was living in Florida for 10 years, and then I moved to New York City for 2 years. I haven't had a good, robust, decent-sized snowfall in around 12 years, so I'm looking forward to this personally, but I live in Manhattan. I don't have a car.
I don't know, Jeff. By Thursday, I think it might be more than even you would like. But that's just me. I'm not a huge snow lover in the city. I love it when I'm out in the country skiing.
That couldn't possibly happen.
All right. Well, we'll talk on Thursday.
But to be serious, though, there are going to be a bunch of power outages in the Northeast. That's one thing I want to just say in addition to that, just so as everyone's aware.
That's very good to know. So, some forecasters are predicting this could be the strongest winter storm in nearly 5 years. Do you agree with that, number one? And what is fueling the surge in strength of this storm after this historic hurricane season you and I have talked about multiple times? Is this also related to climate change?
Well, first of all, the air temperatures are warming up in the winter. Take a look at this map across the United States. Everyone's warming, especially the northern tier of states, especially places like the Northeast. So what we're tending to see, except for the past couple of years, is bigger storms, but less of them. As believe it or not, snow trends are actually going up in places like New York City. That's not going to last forever, because what we're seeing right now is there's extra heat in the atmosphere. So as long as it's cold enough to snow, there's more moisture. Fuels these bigger blockbuster storms in certain cases. But after 10 or 15 years, the warm air is going to outweigh it, and snow totals will begin to come down. But you can see those trends in New York City in fall, winter, and spring. We're kind of on an uptick. At least we were through around 2018. Lake effect snow also on an uptick, because the lakes are remaining warmer, and so there's a better ability to evaporate moisture and create heavier lake effect snow. Again, that trend will end in 10, 15 years when everybody's snow totals go that away.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, Jeff Berardelli, thank you so much. I have to admit, I, unlike you, am not looking forward to this snowstorm, but thank you.
You're welcome.